Hello, hello, hello! Happy Tuesday, friends, from me and a wiggly little Rizzo. Woo, woo. We ready to work out? Yes. We ready to do it? Oh, we ready to do it? Oh, no, what? You're leaving me hanging? Oh, say, don't let me hang in front of my friends. Come on, I'm cool. Hey guys, I don't want to take too much time up because this workout on the clock is right about 59 minutes. So, I want to keep it quick, want to get it moving. Let's shimmy shake. If you worked out with me last Tuesday, it'll be a big help because you'll understand the format, won't need much explaining. So, what do we need today for our workout? We do need a little bit more equipment than normal. So, you're going to need one heavy weight. Now, you might just use that for literally one exercise. Well, it's single-sided, so two. But the whole first set, you sort of have the option to do weights or no weights. And that's where the weight could become more useful if you opt for weights. We'll talk about that more when we get there, but just know one heavy weight. You may not use it too much. You may use it a lot. You need a resistance band, or mini band is the more proper name. I've tried to call it that more often. So we've got two types here. Either one will work, and you might need both. I'm going to have both close by because for one part of the exercises where we're going to use these, I know I need it. For the other, this might come more into play. So, but if you don't have both, no sweat. Just use whatever you have. In general, these rubber bands, these are the ones most people have. They're affordable. They're everywhere. Most people have these. So, these will work. Perfect. Some of us have graduated to these. These are the fabric bands. Provide a lot more resistance. They're very, very sturdy. Varying levels of challenge, but even the easiest one I've ever picked up is more challenging than one of these. So, that's just your choices. I'm going to have both available for me. Something a little different that I don't normally tell you is you want something to elevate your heels. So I happen to inherit some weights over the weekend. Thanks, Emily. So I have all these amazing weight plates now. Not what I actually already wrote the workout before. I didn't just write it because I have weight plates now. So you want something to elevate your heels that's going to be sturdy, that's not going to flip over when you put weight into it, okay? So in this instance, I wouldn't say a yoga block. One, that's going to be a little too tall. And two, if you put your heels and your weight into the front edge of a yoga block, it's going to flip over. So something like a weight plate, perfect. A heavy book, like a nice thick hardback book, perfect. A rolled up yoga mat to get it really thick, perfect. So just something that's not going to tip over, something that's going to elevate your heels to whatever degree you feel comfortable. You don't want to be up on tiptoes, just elevated. That's what you're going to need. A little bit of wall space you can put your back on, and your yoga mat, your floor support. So that is a little more than normal, but all kind of simple equipment. And also, guys, keep in mind that if you don't have some of these things, you can still do these exercises. I don't think there's any exercise here that's required that if you don't have the equipment, just don't even bother, okay? All right, so again, don't want to take too long. So last Tuesday, we did 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, upper body. It was a killer, right? Oh my gosh. So today, we're doing 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lower body. Just go ahead and mentally prepare yourself for the challenges that come. So what does that mean if you haven't done 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? Really simply, we work for 5 minutes straight, no breaks whatsoever. We take a longer break. 4 minutes we work for straight. We take a longer but shorter than the other break. 3 minutes of work straight, another break that's a little bit shorter, 2 minutes of work, 1 minute of work. So those sets of work get smaller, the breaks get shorter. We're going to go through that 3 times. So always know though, I understand this is a challenging one. This is a tough one. Take breaks if you need to. If you need to skip the 2-minute round, you need to skip the 2-minute round. If you need to skip the 5-minute, whatever it is that you need, take what you need, okay? I recognize that I'm putting a tough one out there. So challenge yourself. Don't go easy on yourself, but allow yourself a little break if you need it, okay? So we are doing all legs, all booty, so everything lower body is what we're working today. Again, the timer is going to tell us everything to do. No counting reps. The timer has got our backs, which is great for a weekday workout. No having to count reps, keep up, just listen to the timer. Modify as needed. This is lower body stuff. So you guys know for me, you know me, I'm super challenged in my lower body. Some days more than others, some days not at all. So we'll see how it goes today. So I might be modifying with you, but really the thing to remember, generally modifications when you're talking lower body is going to be just don't squat so far. Or if we were doing something that's jumping, just don't jump. Take the impact out. I don't think we have any jumping today, but I will show you modifications though as we come across them. More importantly though, I think more than the modification, because we already know that's generally going to be don't go so low, don't go so deep, is the proper form, moving in the proper form, which you guys know I will make sure that you know how to do that. No music as always, blah, blah, blah. If you're working out live with me or after the fact, please just leave me comments if you have any questions. I will check in each break. I'll poke my head around at the camera just to see if I can help anybody with anything. I know I'm talking fast because I want to get through to our exercises. So if you're like, Tracy, what the heck did you just say? You need clarification, shoot me a message. I will check it and get back to it more slowly. And last, a couple things I always ask, please like, share, subscribe, all of those so important social media interactions. I know it seems silly. Why do I have to like this post? She knows I was here. I like every post. It is helpful, and it makes a big difference to get people out there paying attention and looking at what we are doing, and hopefully get more attention, more people working out with us, so I can continue to do these videos for you. And lastly, if you wish to donate any funds, that will also help me keep me doing these videos for you. It is the only payment I receive for these classes. Venmo at Strong Style Fit is where you'll find me. This is my logo on the Venmo page as well, so you'll be able to find me and know it's me. Anything you can give is greatly appreciated, as I always say. It's the only payment I receive for these classes, so any donations are sincerely appreciated. All right, guys, so the first set, I'm gonna kind of preface the upper body one. I didn't preface too much, and I worried that the first round was really kind of scrambly. So I'm gonna preface just a little bit, take another minute, hopefully get us going a little more smoothly. So our first 5 minutes, we're going to be standing the whole time, and we're going to do full lower body. Going to be exercises that you know that we've done before. I'm just throwing some different variations like elevated heels, like pulses, like traveling, staggering, things like that to exercises we already know. This round, the 5 minutes, you do have the option to use a weight if you wish. I'm not sure how my knees are doing today. I haven't really tested them out. So my first 5 minute round, I am not going to do any weights, but you are welcome to. If I feel good, if I feel it's appropriate, then I will add weight. For me, I just have to make sure that my pain level is manageable and that I'm going to be able to get through the entire 3 cycles if I do weights versus not. Okay, so that's something you might need to debate as well. The 4th round, we are doing glute isolation for 2 exercises and quad isolation for 2 exercises. That will be done standing. The glutes are done standing. The quad work is going to be done on the floor. So standing and then on the floor for 4 minutes. 3 minutes, we're doing banded glute work. So this is where you're going to grab the band. We're going to be in the floor again. So we're going to stay in the floor and we're doing banded glute work. So you'll need your band. 2 minute set. It's going to be full lower body again. We're going to be standing, we're using our band. And then the 1 minute exercise is going to be a wall sit. So no equipment needed, just that wall. So weights optional for round 5 minute. Weights definitely needed in round 4 for 2 exercises. Bands needed for 3, bands needed for 2, nothing needed for 1. All right, guys. So I'm going to grab a quick sip of water. I've already talked my head off. I'm going to check the video and then we will get started as soon as I get back with a pulsing, traveling squat. All right, so I will be right back. All right, so pulsing, traveling squat, real quick, what that looks like. I am, of course, limited to the space I need to stay in front of the camera. You can travel as far as you want. Just make sure when you travel that if you go 2 squats to your right, that you go 2 squats to the left. So don't go all to the right, to the right, to the right. So So what does that look like? We step out, we're gonna pulse, 1, 2, to the middle. 1, 2, to the middle. And then travel, so we're traveling. So, again, you can go as many as you want each direction. Just know you've got 1 minute, so try to keep it equal. It doesn't have to be perfect, but don't go 10 one direction and only 2 the other. Okay? All right, so that's where we're starting. I'm gonna hit start on the timer now. All right, let's travel it out. I'm gonna move to the edge of my mat. So I've got room on my mat to go 3. So that's where I'm going. So we stand, go down to the bottom, pulse twice and up. Down to your lowest, pulse twice and up. So if you want to use a weight here, you would take just the one weight and you can hold it to your chest long ways like a bow tie, end to end. You can hold it goblet, whichever way you want to do it. So far so good for me, but this standing set is pretty knee intensive. And honestly, with all of these, all right, so we're gonna do a goblet squat, elevated heels. So you're gonna put your heels up on your elevated surface, your book, your whatever. You still want your feet about hip width apart, so we don't want to be narrow. Our toes flare out. So not to 10 and 2 like sumo, but they flare out. And then we come down and up. So you should really feel those glutes engage as you come to stand. It's like they're zipping up the middle. Now, one thing that you're probably noticing that you're like, ooh, Tracy, your knees are in fact going over your toes, which is always, you know, me going, ah. In this instance, okay. From here, when we come off the elevation, we're going into a sumo. All right, sumo squat. We go wide, toes 10 and 2. We're gonna stagger down for 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I have that awful thing happening where my pants have sunken down too low and the crotch is not in the right spot. These pants have gotten a little too big, which is good, but they're like my favorite pants and I can't let them go. But then things like this happen. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Remember, knees point out the same direction as your toes. Your knees are not coming forward. Everything opens. All right, so we're staying wide. I gotta fix my pants, y'all, I'm sorry. We're going to a 2-pulse static lateral lunge. So lateral lunge, we come out over one leg, pulse, pulse, transfer over other leg, pulse, pulse. So I say it's static because our feet are staying in place. All we're adjusting is our hips. Hips shift over. We sit over the top of the leg. You want to make sure that you're sitting over, ooh, right knee's not liking that one, over that leg. All right, last one, a walking lunge. So we're going to front lunge, so we step out, lunge, and up. Now for me, I don't really have a lot of room to travel, so if you don't have room to travel, you can join me in just staying forward, lunge, and back. Step forward, lunge, back. If you have the room, you can travel around your room. Beautiful, do that. Guys, we still want to land. We don't front lunge a lot. Because to be honest, if you have knee pain, front lunges are tough. So we still want to land in that 90-90 kind of position. All right, that's our rest. So be patient, guys. I know the first trip through is always a little awkward. You're trying to learn the exercises. So I know it's always a little tough. No worries. It gets much smoother as we continue through and you know what to expect. So we've got 40 seconds. I'm gonna pop around, check the video, fix my pants, and then we'll get back to it. All right. So here we are going to do single leg deadlift. So you'll definitely want your one heavy weight here. If you don't have a weight though, do it without the weight. No big deal. Weight's preferred if you have it. But again, there's really no exercise that I'm going to tell you. If you don't have a weight, don't bother. Chances are, all right, so left leg, single leg deadlift. We've done these a ton. So we kickstand our right leg back, all of our weights in our left. Slight bend in our knee. We come down, we stand. So guys, we're not squatting. Notice my hips are staying high. Just the slightest bend in my knee. Hips staying high in the air. It's like you're trying to push your booty back to the wall. And then drive through that heel to stand. Your right leg is nothing but a kickstand to help you keep your balance. Immediately flip to the other leg. Right leg forward. Kickstand left. A little bend in that right knee. Hips sit back. Drive. If you notice one cue that you're getting squatty versus sitting your hips back, or that you're just bending forward like this and not sitting your hips back, is if you feel your weight up in the ball of your foot, on your planted foot, or up in your toes. That means that your weight is not shifting to the back like it should. And instead it's falling forward. Perfect. All right, set that weight down. We're coming down to the floor. We just did these in a chair. This is not going to look like much. Trust me, it's much. Sit flat, legs straight out in front of you. By squeezing your quad, you're going to lift your leg. We're alternating. So watch. My quad goes from soft. Watch it. Peep. See it perk up. All quad. So you're not using your hip. It's all quad. I know it feels funny to just sit down and lift your leg, but if you are doing it right, you can feel that quad squeeze, squeeze, squeeze to lift. And guys, we're almost done. At 3, we're going to flip to hands and knees. I'm going to do what's called a bear squat. So, we come to hands and knees, and then you want to lift your knees off the ground. And then we push back towards our heels and come forward, leaving those knees in the air the entire time. Now Make sure you got nice wide hands, that you're keeping your shoulders relaxed, away from your ears. Super intense in the quads. Push back with your hands, drive forward with your legs. Push back with your hands, drive forward with your legs. There we go. All right, so grab your band. If you don't have your band, we're gonna come down to the floor for a 3-minute band glute set. So get a nice break here. You got 30 seconds, so no rush. Take your time. Everything, we're gonna start on hands and knees again. Do 2 on hands and knees, and we're gonna come to our back. So we're gonna do alternating mule kicks, alternating fire hydrants, and then froggy bridges. All exercises you guys have done before. You got 10 seconds, go ahead and get yourself set up. So your hands and knees, nice wide hands, pushing that floor away, just like when we plank. Flex your feet, kick up. Kick up. So we're keeping that foot flexed and we're pushing up like we're trying to stamp. Like if we had ink on the sole of our shoe, we'd imprint our sole on the ceiling. That's what you're looking for. Next exercise will be in the same pose, just changing our legs. For some people, if being on your hands like this is uncomfortable, it feels more comfortable. All right, fire hydrants. I'll continue that thought in 1 sec. So now we keep our hip points pointed to the ground and we open to the side. So we're not flaring our hip up, hips stay down, leg lifts. So for some people, being on hands gets painful, and fist actually feels comfortable for some people, at least for a little while, to give yourself a break. You can also put a pair of weights down and put your hands on the weights, like on the handles. Hello, booty. I'm feeling it. 15 seconds. Keep that gaze out long. Don't stare down at your knees. All right, flip over to our back. Leave your band in the same place that it is. Coming to a bridge-like position, but we've got our feet right next to one another. We're gonna open up as we push into bridge. So we open, squeeze, lift our hips, pull against that band, or push against that band, and down. Open, down. Open, and down. You might roll out onto the outer edge of your feet a little bit when you open. That's okay. No problem. As long as your ankles aren't, doing this, like caving out to the side like that. Perfect. All right, we're gonna kick. Well, you might leave the same band on if you just have one band. You might leave the same one on. I think this will probably be, I'm gonna give it a shot. I can always kick it off, right? So we're gonna do front, side, back, leg raises. Definitely recommend, if you need, turn and face your wall. So you've got some wall for balance. We're holding the back of your couch, whatever works. So we're gonna lift to the front, lift to the side, to the back. We're doing just single leg. So we're doing 1 minute left, 1 minute right. So guys, these should be smallish movements. You shouldn't be rocket kicking to the front, to the side, and to the back. If you are, you need to up the intensity of your band. Now you might be thinking, I'm feeling so much in my standing leg. That can't be normal. It's totally normal. Whew. All right to that other leg. So it is very normal to feel lots of work in your planted leg. Make sure you're staying strong through that hip. Don't let your hip start to jet out to the side. So here we're squeezing our quad, outer hip, booty, quad, outer hip, booty. Got it? Also your planted leg, make sure you've got a little bit of bend in your knee. If you have your knee locked out, you're going to be super unstable. Aside from the fact that it's just never good to have your knees locked out, which I'm an offender. 5 seconds. Take that band off. We got a 30-second break, and then we're going to wall sit. Now you can leave the band on for your wall sit. It does provide some knee stability. Whew. All right. Got 15 seconds. Oh my God, quick drink. You see how I'm walking? I'm like trying to take step with my legs. They're just like jiggling. All right. So back flat on that wall. I like to lift my tail and roll my spine down. Then we walk out. We go to our lowest point. We still want our knees in alignment with our ankles. Nice flat back. Just focus. We're here for 1 minute. We're already well into it. Just staying strong. And again, guys, this is adjustable. So if going this low, hurt your knees, come up a little bit. It's totally adjustable. Embrace the shake. 15 seconds. You might feel your booty shaking, your quads. We've worked it all, so everything's fatigued. You might feel everything shaking. That's all right. You've got 5 seconds. You can do it. Beautiful. All right, come on up. So now we have a nice long break. We have 2 minutes. Catch our breath, reset, recover. So here's my rule in the 2 minutes. So by now you should have built up at least a nice little sweat, a little coating. You might not be dripping, maybe you are, but your muscles are warm, regardless of how much you're sweating. Your muscles are warm, your body's warm. In this 2 minutes, you don't want to cool off completely. So if you're working out in a cold room, or maybe you didn't push yourself too hard and so you're not working that hard right now. Maybe you're recovering from something, so you're intentionally not working that hard right now. Don't let yourself cool off completely. So to do that, 1:15, keep moving. Depending on where you're at, if you're really hot and sweaty and you're like, whoo, no chance I'm gonna cool off in 2 minutes, then just a little step touch like this is beautiful. But if you're like, oh, I'm pretty chill already, and it's cold in this room, and I want you to really be active, do some little jogs, little jump ropes, go up and down stairs, something like that, okay? 50 seconds, 5-0. I'm gonna check the video, I'll be right back. All right, so guys, 30 seconds. We've got the 2 pulse, traveling squat. We've got the elevated heels, goblet squat, stagger sumo squat. 2 pulse static lateral lunge and the walking lunge. I'm going to try a little bit of weight for some of these, nothing too intense because my knees are a little cranky with all of this work, but weights are optional. I might start with the weight and decide I don't want it. So 2 pulses, pulse, pulse, step, pulse, pulse. So just remember, try to keep it as equal as you can. So if you travel 40 your right, try to travel 40 your left. Two pulses to the middle. Stand. 2 pulses to the middle. Seconds. We've got that elevated heel goblet squat. All right. So this is one workout where I will say that when we get to the 3, 2, 1 countdown, if you want to start moving to the next exercise, that's okay. Because there is some setup. So guys, remember we've got our heels up on our elevated surface. Toes are flaring out. We are okay with the fact that our knees are going over our toes. And we are zipping up that booty as we stand. You almost have no choice when your heels are elevated. It moves you into this place where your booty kind of naturally engages. I want you to think about it too. All right, stagger sumo. Toes at 10 and 2. If we have a weight, it's here. Knees track, same as our toes. Stagger for 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Keep that chest nice and broad. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Good. Keep it slow. I'm definitely going to be dropping the weight for me for the last 2 exercises. That is your call. All right, get that static lateral lunge. So make sure that you're wide, but that you're narrow enough that when your weight shifts to your leg, that you're over that leg. I don't know why my right knee is not liking that position today. It's going to stay taller. 1, 2, push. 1, 2, push. Weight is still sitting back. That's super key. 1, 2, that your weight is still sitting back, that you're not jutting your knee forward. Knee. I think I figured it out. I think maybe I was jutting too far forward. All right, I've got walking lunge. So it's a front lunge. I'm not traveling because I don't have the room to travel. So I'm keeping it stationary here. But if you have room to travel, then just keep walking forward. So you don't do this step back, you would step up and then step forward, okay? So if you're traveling, here I'll kind of move off screen so I have some room, you would lunge forward. for 2, so I'll keep going with that. 1 minute break. So yeah, I'm glad I have room for 2, so you can see what the walking would look like. Just doing an alternating front lunge is a little different. So, all right guys, so we got 45 seconds. And we're going to that single leg deadlift with the weight. Each leg. And then we have those quad intensive exercises in the floor. The sweat is for reals. I'm like, well, not a little tiny ring, so I don't have the ring quite yet. We got 12 seconds. So we got single leg deadlift right, single leg deadlift left and right, I should say, and then the quad lift, the bear squat. All right, left leg, right leg kickstands, little bend in that left leg. Weight shifts back, flat back down. Push through that heel to stand. Flat back. Drive through that heel. That hip is nice in alignment. Don't sit out. You guys heard me say many times, I keep my hand on my hip just so I can feel that my hip isn't. If I feel my hip bump out into my hand, then I know I'm shifting my hips. It's a very simple looking movement, but there's so many parts and pieces to it. So adjust as needed. If you're like, oh, I just don't feel it where I think I should, play with all these different moving parts and pieces I'm telling you about. So again, all of our weights on our planted leg. We bend our knee just a little bit. Hips sit back. They don't squat, they push back. Flat back brings us down. Drive through that heel to stand. Weight stays super close to our body to make sure, again, to encourage everything to shift back. You can definitely trace a wall for balance if you need to. All right, down to the floor. We've got those alternating quad lifts. So, sit tall. Support yourself with your hands. Squeeze and lift. Squeeze and lift. And if you can watch my leg. You can see how it's one position, and then you can see it squeeze up, that muscle engage and lift. No matter what size your legs are, you should see that too. If you need the support, you can also sit with your back against a wall. If being like this in your hands or your shoulders isn't comfortable, you can sit your back up against a wall. No big deal. Alright, flip it around, hands and knees. We've got those bear squats. Roll those shoulders back, long neck, tuck your toes, elevate those knees. Push back, drive your hips back, push forward. Knees stay elevated the entire time. Push back through your hands. Drive through those legs. And make sure you're keeping your neck long, shoulders away from your ears. Don't get all wrapped up here. Stay down. our band. So we've got more hands and knees positions. Remember, you can use your fist. You can flip a weight over and support yourself up on a weight if you need to. And if push comes to shove and you just can't be on your hands and knees, then you can do these standing. Absolutely. Leave the band on, stand up to a wall, and then do the exact same leg positions. So if you need to get out of your hands, that's a great option too. Or if you need some extra support under your knees, then just put a blanket, or if you have an extra yoga mat. Almost all of us have that one really crappy first yoga mat we bought, right? That's terrible. That's a perfect use, is to fold it up and put some padding under your knees or under your hands if you need it. Squeeze through that booty. Stamp that sole of the shoe on the ceiling. I also recommend, if your yoga mat, you kind of indent them by being on your knees in the same spot between exercises, just shift somewhere different on your yoga mat. Like this one doesn't stay indented for long, just for a moment, but it's enough that I just want to scoot back out of those indentions a little bit. And it feels comfortable again. Remember, hip points face the ground. We don't open our hips. We're opening just through the leg. When I say we don't open hips, I mean we don't flare open. Hips stay down, leg flares up. So we are working our hip for sure, but we're keeping our hips flat. And lastly, from here, we'll flip to our back, 15 seconds, and froggy bridge. All right, we're in bridge position, but our feet are right next to one another. We lift our hips, open against that band, and come down. So you should feel a big squeeze all through sort of this outer rim around your booty. That's our break. We can come on up. I'm just leaving my band on because why not? So we've got 20 seconds left on our break here. We've got those front, side, back leg raises. Remember, perfectly acceptable to grab something to hold on to for balance. I definitely encourage you. You guys know me. I'm all about balance. So if you can do it without holding on, definitely challenge yourself to do so. But if you can't, no sweat. So we squeeze through our quad, squeeze through our hip, squeeze through our glute. Keeping our chest tall the whole time. So we don't lean back to kick, lean over, lean forward. That takes a lot of the pressure out. That's cheating. That's your body finding the easier way. Stay tall. Stay even in your hips. A little bend in that planted leg. guys, you might also notice too, or if you haven't, so I am not touching down my planted leg. It is staying elevated off the floor the whole time. Just more of a challenge, definitely more of a balance challenge. So you do not have to do that. So I pointed out because if you're not doing it and you're like, oh, I'm doing something wrong, you're fine. You can touch down, little toe tap between each one if you need to. But I also invite you to take the challenge and try not to touch down. 15 seconds. Balance is definitely use it or lose it. You lose it naturally as you age anyways. And if you don't use it, then you definitely lose it. So, I always try to incorporate balance into my workouts. I practice yoga, all of these things to make sure that I'm always challenging my balance. So I don't want to lose it. When we lose our balance, that's when we start to fall as we get older, break hips, things like that. They're just so much harder to bounce back from as an elderly person. All right, back flat. I like to lift my tail, roll my spine down. Get my feet set, knees over ankles. And there we have it. And that's all there is to it. Have a seat. This is our second time here. Much more fatigue now, so you might feel that shimmy shake kick on way sooner than you have before. It's all right. Just stick with it. Get your weight evenly distributed in your feet. You don't want to be up on your toes, but it doesn't have to be all back towards your heel. Just think even foot this time. Just not all up on your toes, okay? 10 seconds left. That's all you got. I feel it. I'm shaking. All right. That is our 2-minute break. Last break, the last big break. So we're coming into our final 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo, we are doing it, guys. Again, take what you need. If you really are gonna cool down fast, if you didn't get that hot, if you feel like you're cooling down, I want you to be super active. You don't have to do jumping jacks, but move, walk, do stairs, something. If you are plenty warm, then just a little step touch, a little pacing, whatever it is. Just please don't sit down, don't lie down. Don't let yourself get cool. You want to stay on a nice little simmer. We've done all this work to get warm. Don't want to lose what you've got. We've got 1 minute and 10 seconds. I'm going to check on the video, have some water, be right back. Oh my. All right, friends, so we got just over 45 seconds. Got that 2 pulse, traveling squat, elevated heels, goblet squat, stagger, sumo squat, 2 pulse, static, lateral lunge, and then those walking lunges. I know it's a lot. I know it is. You can totally do it. And in fact, if you've been doing weight and you have a heavier choice, why not try? It's the last round, right? If you're having no knee pain, you're feeling tired from work, but otherwise you're good, maybe try for your weight. Or if you haven't done any weight, but you feel good, maybe try adding a little bit of weight, right? It's your last round. All right, 2 pulse, traveling squats coming up. I upped my weight for this one. Practicing what I preach. Overall, my knees are doing okay. They don't like the lateral lunge today. But I gotta say, that's not too out of the norm for me. 15 seconds. All right, elevated heels. So we want to still have our feet about hip width apart. Our toes are angled out, but not as far as a sumo. Hold that weight, tuck that tail. Zip those legs up. Squeeze those glutes at the top. Woo. 10 seconds, guys. All right, stagger sumo. So again, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I do give you permission to start transitioning when you hear the timer count down for the 3, the 2, the 1. Normally I would definitely scold you for that. But there's definitely some transition for each of these exercises, so I get it. Three, two, one. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Press those knees open. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. All right. Static, lateral lunge. So we shift and we sit over that left leg. Then we shift and we sit over the right. Again, our weight still sits back into that deep chair. Pulse, 2, up. Pulse, 2, up. Pulse, 2, up. Seconds. Like walking lunges. Whew. All right, walking lunges, guys. Last exercise of this 5-minute set. And drag through that front leg to stand. Drag through that front heel. And this looks silly because I don't have much room to travel. Woo! 1-minute break. That is our last 5-minute segment. Done. So now we've got our 4-minute segment. The 2 single leg deadlifts, the quad lift, the bear squat, and a Rizzo. Where were you? You could have been my weight for my weighted squats. Oh man. Ooh. I don't know, all the sweat and fur. I'm not sure that'd be too cute. Hi, sweet girl. Wow. You're so excited. I know, you are fired up. You are fired up. Yes. You're the best girl in the whole world. You gonna tell your friends, do their deadlifts? Yeah, you tell them? Yeah, yes, do your deadlifts, yes. All right, guys, single leg deadlift, left leg. Got that kickstand, all the way to the left. A little bend in that knee, hips sit back. Whew. Beautiful work, friends. I know you're getting tired. Don't let that form fail you. So here, in these deadlifts, we start to get a little squatty sometimes. We start to sit down, sort of push our hips back once they get tired. So just keep that in mind. Flat back, don't double over, don't bend your spine. These are all kind of common, I'm getting tired things. All right, right to the other side, right leg. We're doing our deadlifts for you, just like you said. We're listening. Remember, you can keep that hand on your hip if you need to. If you're like me, your hips naturally want to kick out. Come on down. We got the quad lifts. You want a quad lift with this? You want a quad lift with this? All right. Squeeze and lift. Hey. Oh, thank you. What a nice girl you are. She just likes the salt. Oh, sweet girl. You gonna tell your friends on camera hi? Woo, keep lifting, guys. Make sure your leg is lifting because you're squeezing those quads. That's not because you're leaning back and lifting. Squeeze. Your lift might be this high. When I was doing these in physical therapy, my feet wouldn't even come off the floor sometimes. That is all right. Like Mr. Room, I'm like you. I'm on all fours. All right, guys, lift those knees. Push back. Drive forward. Push back. Drive forward. Push back. Drive forward. Keeping those knees elevated the whole time. Hi. You're so silly. Oh, gross. I think I've got my shower here. Keep going, guys. I know it's intense. Woo! 5 seconds. Wow. Woo. All right, the 4 is down. We've got a 3, a 2, and a 1. And we are done. So grab that band. Meet me down on the floor. Whoa. And back on your turf. Just remember, guys, each exercise we're doing now, it's the last time you have to do it. Yeah. Yeah. That's the best news, right? That's the best news. All right, guys. We've got those mule kicks. So remember, fists. You can come up onto fist B to give your wrists a break. You can elevate up onto some weights, even some yoga blocks. That might help. They're a little softer. Normally we can modify down to elbows, but in this position it gets you really kind of out of line. I'm not going to say if it's your only option, don't do it. But it definitely, as you can see, gets your spine in kind of a weird alignment. So I wouldn't recommend it, but if you want to try it. But really, I would say if you get to that point, let's stand and do it on the wall. 10 seconds. Perfect. We've got the fire hydrants. Move out of your little knee divots if you've created some. Hips point to the floor. Open. You guys, I'm terrible about it too, so just a reminder, keep your gaze out just in front of your hands. I tend to look down at my legs to see what they're doing, and I know most of us do. Now just put your neck in a wonky position for a long period of time. So try to look out ahead. Fifteen seconds. Whew. All right, let's transition to our backs. Froggy bridge. Flat on our back, feet together. We lift and we open. So make sure you're hitting both parts. Your hips are lifting and you're opening. Don't just focus on one or the other. They work together. So make sure you're executing both parts. If that means you need to make it more of a two-part, that you lift, open, down, that's okay. I normally coach it wanting to be a fluid motion, but for some people, it's too much. They need to break it down into two. That's all right. Woo! Our 3-minute segment is down. Oh, thank you, Rue. All we have left, guys, is our 2 and our 1. So the break is quick. We're down to 15 seconds already. Oh, and I'm officially sweating in my eyeballs. Oh, we know it's a good one. All right, we've got that band around the thighs. Our planted leg is strong, hip long. We're not knocked out to one side. Hip in alignment, spine tall. A little bend in that planted leg. We come out to the side, to the back. And remember, our chest stays up. Our upper body is not moving. If you're like, well, Tracy, I can kick higher if I lean back or lean forward. It's not about kicking high. It's about squeezing the proper muscle, quad, hip, glute, quad, hip, glute. Remember, you can tap down in the middle if you need to, or keep it lifted. Hold on to something for balance, or challenge your balance and see what you can do. You got lots of options here. Almost done. 5 seconds. And switch sides. All right. I know. If you're really floundering in the balance, but you want to keep challenging it, right? Make sure that you've got a little bit of a bend in that planted knee. If your knee is locked out and then you're pulling on it, right? Because when you pull into this band, it's pulling into your planted leg. If your knee's locked out, you've got no stability there. And you're just going to weeble wobble all over the place. So make sure you've got just the slightest bend in your knee. almost there. 15 seconds. 5. Kick it off. 30-second break. And we've got our 1 minute. And we are done. Woo! We have made it, guys. We are down to 1 minute of work. That is legit, guys. That is 59 minutes of exercise. And yes, we take some breaks, but these breaks are really minimal. They are not long breaks at all. We're getting our money's worth out of that work. All right, spine long on that wall. Tuck your tail, roll it all down. Oh, nice stretches, Rizzo. All right, lower it. Oh, what? Come here. Come here. Rizzo. Up. Rizzo, up. Up. Come on. No, I was gonna let you sit in my lap for a wall sit. Give me my extra weight. Sure, come here. Shush. There we go. We're wall sitting. What? You hate it? Okay. And then you stay in wiggles. What? 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 That's how my legs feel. Yes. Yes. Yeah, I know. That's how my legs feel too. That's how theirs feel too. We got 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! Good girl. 1. Oh my goodness. Whoa, somebody is fired up. See, you squealed like you were so mad at me. I'm gonna get you. Oh, she squealed like I hurt her feelings so terribly, and then we get this. I love it. All right, guys. Whew. Hope you enjoyed that little break. Some entertainment, right? I'm gonna pause our timer. It has a rest break at the end. Oh. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that workout. I know it was intense. It is a lot. Your legs might feel like jello. They might feel hard as rocks. You might have all sorts of cool things going. Oh, she's back for more. She's back for more. Whoa. So guys, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this workout. I hope you enjoyed this goofy girl encouraging us through the last little bit. It was really fun. It was a challenge. I hope you faced it. I hope you feel strong and that you feel proud and that you feel like you really accomplished something today, because you did. So guys, please join me on social media. Like, share, subscribe, follow, share a message, encourage people to join and work out with you. I really look forward. I know things are starting to open up. Maybe we could do like an all-together workout at one of my facilities. That would be amazing. So just keep that in mind, and please get more people joining us. And lastly, again, as always, if you wish to donate any funds for these classes, it is the only payment I receive. Venmo at Strong Style Fit is where you'll find me. Guys, thank you so much for a fun workout. Thanks for enjoying the barks along with me, and I'll see you in just a few days for another awesome workout. Mwah.